Hey guys, it's Gav here with a quick hands-on video, and I thought we'd take an individual look at some of the actions within Nitty Gritty, and we're just going to look at one very powerful action today. You'll want to make sure that you have Nitty Gritty Actions version 1.1 or later, and it's now the first action on here. I'm going to go ahead and run this while I talk. This is called Surfaces. The Surfaces action really kind of embodies the whole spirit of Nitty Gritty. It's not simply sharpening. It's not about making all your images grungy. It's about controlling the surface and the finished look and getting the right level of sharpness, the right level of glow, the right level of detail. Now you see that there's a little bit of pop and adjustments, but this isn't about adjusting contrast so much. There are a few controls. What you'll see, if we look down here at the bottom, that there's just these layers here, and we have 3 layers, and the beauty of this is you can run this action, right? And it kind of stops at a midpoint. So if I go in, we'll see that it's sharper, there's more detail, there's a little bit of a soft glow, but at the same time, there's actually less noise and more detail. So how is all that happening? Well, Surfaces is simple, it's self-explanatory once you know how to use it. You have the smoother layer. You'll see this is at 50% now. You can select this. You can turn it off for more intensity, and of course, there's a little more noise and grit in there. Or you can turn it up and smooth it down even more, like for a portrait. But here's the beauty. There's blending modes at play here, and I took my time in really designing this so we would have something to say, let's take these 3 layers, let's adjust them accordingly to get the look that we need, all right? So if I come in here now, I have the glow layer, all right? And I'm zoomed in pretty close on her. I'm actually over 100% on this file. So I'm going to set this right at 100% so we can kind of see it real time there, right? And we can turn the layer. This is the beauty, is you got these 3 layers and you can very quickly get a finished look you want. Now there's tons of other actions in Nitty Gritty that allow you to do some really amazing stuff. But the Surfaces is like, it's there, you run it, you've got the smoother, you've got the glow, and you've got the detail. And boy, there's a lot in here, right? I can turn the detail up and down. All right, I can adjust the glow. So in this case, since it's a portrait, I'm going to turn the glow up a little bit, and I'm going to turn the smoother up a little bit, but not so much that we kill all our detail. And I'm going to leave our detail in the mid-range, and there we go. So the beauty of this, and this is kind of how all of our actions are designed. They're stackable, one folder builds on top of the other. It makes them very versatile, but the beauty here is that this is a consistent effect, right? You can click this and you can run it on anything, and it's going to look good. Because it's not about being over the top. It's about allowing you to finish, but it's not saying, let's just sharpen this image up. It gives you a control to get a little bit of that ethereal glow effect. It gives you detail control. Let's get in here, out on the Tetons, and look up here. And you'll notice as I adjust the smoother, it's not just smoothing surface detail. It actually will smooth out the dynamic range a little bit, so that if you're pulling a little bit too much in the highlights from the glow layer, it brings a little bit of that back. Now you'll see that the glow layer is actually doing an auto mask as part of the action to preserve highlights. And you could, of course, turn that off. You could modify it. You could turn the glow layer up and down. Because when you add that little bit of a glow, when you add a glow that still retains sharpness but adds a little bit of that glow mist, there sometimes is an increase in those highlights, and this gives you total control over that. So if we zoom in here, we can just look at these details, and we can see how we're adding this ethereal beauty to this without losing the detail. So we're actually smoothing detail, right? Here's smoothing completely off. Here's all the way on. We're smoothing detail, but then we're coming back, adding a little bit of glow and swinging in at the top, and actually using advanced techniques to bring that detail back in. So this is actually using frequency separation within Photoshop. This is not a simple sharpening layer. We're actually bringing the texture back in on top of the image and allowing us to have that control. So you can come in here and you can crank this all the way up and actually get a fairly gritty look, right? If I turned the others off, I could actually use this just for a really intense, edgy, almost urban kind of look, right? But then when I compensate that with the other things, and this is a way that we haven't seen before. We've seen people, and they either make things soft, right? We make it soft, or we make it hard and grungy. But when you combine these two, and this is a lot of what you'll see throughout Nitty Gritty, but it's really exemplified in this very simple surfaces action that is super versatile. Okay, so we can come down here and we can say, well, let's have a little glow, let's have a little smoothing, but not too much, and let's bring some detail, and just watch how we've brought detail into this without making it noisy and over the top. Here's a portrait that we've already ran some other actions in, right? So we've already got the Insta-Sharp. We've already got skin surface that we've done to this. But now we can go ahead and add the surfaces. And again, what are we getting? The default is just a little bit of glow, a little bit of sharpness, a little bit of smoothness. And what happens is you get a very rich look, but you effectively neutralize the loss of information because everything is balancing itself out. So this really is an action, guys, that you can run simply on its own, and it's going to look really good, but it's also an action that you have a whole lot of control of to determine what the look you want is. On this one, let's crank that detail up, right? And let's crank the glow up, but let's turn the smoother down a little bit because I don't want to lose my rich details. Let's really zoom in here and just take a look at this. And you can see when I turn this on, now it's looking good, but almost too much, right? So now I'm going to dial back the glow. I want it to be natural. Now you can do this however you want, right? But these are very powerful layers in here, so I'm just going to dial that back. Bring a little bit more smoothness in. And right there. Managing our detail, managing our information without destroying, adding noise, adding a bunch of artifacts, and once again, giving complete control. That's just one action in the Nitty Gritty. There's all kinds of others we'll look at, and we'll probably do a video kind of looking at an overview of what all the actions do. But you guys are going to have a lot of fun in here. Let me know what you think of the surfaces effect and show me some of the results you get, because really, you do have pretty much infinite results. And I got a few dust noise bits that I need to clean out of that image, and then it's going to be pretty good. You guys have a good night. Have fun. Let me know if you have any questions.